is the Pop Art Portraits video 2. And what I've done is, well, I'll just undo it. So I have my 4 groups. They're all moved around. Actually, one of them looks like it's kind of out of whack. So I'm just going to move that one down a tiny bit. Okay, so what I want you to do now to give it a little more of a pop art look, go ahead and open one of your groups. And you're going to click on your image layer, the portrait. And I want you to go to the magic wand tool and click on the background and then do select inverse or shift command I. So we're going to give it a little more of a pop art look by filtering this image a little bit. So you're going to go to image, you're going to go to adjustments, sorry, lost it for a second. Oh, there it is. Create, okay, image adjustments and gradient map. Okay, so you can move this so you can see what you're doing. So gradient map is going to filter our image. You can see I messed up my selection a little bit right there. So it's using this green color because this is the color that I have right here. If you want to use a different color, that's okay. This gradient is fine, but it's not exactly what I want. So you can find your gradients again under here and see what the different gradients will do to this image. So I want you to play around with the gradient mapping and see how it works for you, and to put some kind of contrasting gradient on each of your images. And so you're going to do that by hitting OK. So we have this one now. I'm going to hit Command D to deselect. I'm going to open my next portrait and I'm going to repeat. So I'm going to click on, sorry, I'm on the wrong layer. I'm going to click on the image layer. I'm going to click on the background, and then I'm going to select inverse. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to image, I'm going to go to adjustments, I'm going to go to gradient map, and I'm going to play around with the different gradients. Now, when I have all 4 gradients mapped, I'm going to show you what you can do next. So I'm just going to hit Command T, go to the next layer, and I really want you to play around with what gradients you like. Again, hitting it with the magic wand, inversing, and going to image, adjustments, gradient map. So I'm going to go really quickly because I want to be able to just show you guys a few more things. So this one you could do black and white. And if you can't see it, if it's not there, then just move this gradient map out of your way. So I've got that one. That one's pretty crazy. Say OK. Command D. Open my last group. Click on my last portrait. And then Shift Command I to inverse. Again to my adjustments, my gradient map, and let's go with this one. Okay, so now these are all different, okay? So the only other thing that I would like for you guys to do is to play around with making it even more intense. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to use either the quick selection tool or the magic wand tool. Make sure you're on the right layer, okay, in the right group. So you're going to have to look at these little thumbnails to see where you are. So I want to be on this one because I'm starting with this one, right? So I'm going to use my magic wand to just select the sunglasses, and then I'm going to go over to my paintbrush tool. I don't want the paint mixer, I want the regular brush. And I don't really want to add that color. I think I want to add some really intense pink to this. Now, if you go and you start to paint and your opacity is at 100, you're going to have a really strange effect. So I suggest lowering your opacity and playing around with what it looks like when you paint something in at a lower opacity. And of course, it's only going to paint in the areas that I have selected. And I don't like that. That's not pink enough for me. So I'm going to go over here and make it even pinker. And so it's going over the top and the opacity is low. So it's not turning out as bright pink as I want. So I'm going to up the opacity a little and go back. There we go. And then I'm going to hit Command D. Now, if I want to add any other really like pop arty effects, you could do the hair. So I'm going to go over to this one. And your images may be different. So if your images are different, and I can use the quick selection tool on this one, if your images are different, if you have more pronounced, features or something, oof, I don't want all that. And you want to do lips, or you want to do, I don't know, a t-shirt or something, go ahead and do that. Oops, I'm on minus. I'm trying to do this really quick so I can just show you guys. So say I wanted to put some really intense color on her hair. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to grab the aqua, I'm going to grab the paintbrush, and I'm going to color in. And that's way too intense. So now that's the place where you want to adjust the opacity because you're missing all the rest of the hair and it looks like I just put like a hair hat on her head. So now I can paint it in. So go ahead and play around with that. When you've gotten your portrait how you like it, you're going to save it as Pop Art Portrait number 1.psd on the desktop and then turn it in as your assignment in Google Classroom.